Hey, happy 2022. I am very, very, very sorry for the delay. I was expecting to be able to do this in the very first week of January, but there were so many things that came up, and COVID and all that. So that explains the home settings that I've got over here, and I hope you don't mind. So there's not going to be any fancy lighting, which is a good thing, so I don't have to wear those glasses. And we can just have a little soul to soul chat, and I've got to bring you up to speed with so many things that have happened since we last spoke. I think we last had an outreach when I had completed 20 songs, and now we're on 32. So I know there's been a big delay, and I know you'll understand. So, firstly, I'm just so happy to be able to get the time to sit down and make this outreach. I can't tell you how much I've missed you. I've received all your emails and your I read every comment that you post, and I'm going to go through all that. So before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to rig this into three parts if you wouldn't mind. First, a vote of thanks to some really, really important people who have helped take this dream and make it a reality. The second, I'm going to answer three questions that I've picked from so many that I've got from all of you. And third, I'm going to sing a song. Yeah, I'm going to do it without any sound engineers and mixers, and just a microphone and a camera. And that's basically it. So there's no guarantees you're going to like it, but I'm going to try anyway. So, firstly, thanks to all of you. I just want to share, how important I think this little but growing family of the Will Rogers cover songs is. Uh, you really are the lifeblood, the angels that are being able, that actually take the time uh, to to pass on these songs to people who are really in need, because that and that alone is the message. That's the only thing that I want uh, these songs to achieve, and you make that happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot do this on my own, and I'm really blessed that in a world like today, and there's a guy like me who's partly tone deaf, totally musically illiterate, can't play an instrument, can't justify where the voice comes from either, not a great showman, or the list goes on. But yet, you're faced with you've got an ocean of choice with all the latest songs that are coming out, and yet you choose um, to listen to my songs and pass them on, and it really means a lot to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I really hope you continue. Now, there are too many people, too many of God's angels who have really helped, from the editors, sound engineers, and the whole family. There are too many to thank. But I just want to single out two or three names out here, if you wouldn't mind. One, there's my mentor and spiritual guide. Is a remarkable musician, a wonderful lady who lives in New Zealand now. And I have known her since I was 20, which, as you can tell, wasn't a very long time ago. And, 20 years ago, she helped me, a little more than 20 years ago, she helped me with a play I was doing at that time. I was always this type of character. If I felt I wanted to do something, I would just go ahead and do it. I wouldn't care whether there are resources or whatever. I had this kind of blind faith in God, that God, if He has inspired me, He'll take me to the final goal. And that's what happened. But this lady showed up in those days and helped guide me. Without her help, I'd never have achieved that. And then we parted ways, as people do over the years. And then 30 years later, or 20 years later, I met her again. And I've been to New Zealand, I think twice or thrice, and I've actually lived with her and her family. She is an exceptional musician, and she's touched so many people's lives that it's remarkable. She's not just an angel to me, but to so many people. So what I do is, every time I finish a song, And just before I publish it, I send it to her first, and I ask her, like, what do you think of this? And if she comes back with some objection, I just don't publish it. But it's only when I get the green light from her that I send it over. So thank you. You know who you are, and you would never want me to name you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and may God bless you and your family for all that you're doing for me and for the Will Rogers extended family. I'd like to shout out to Viraf from Hong Kong, who is both an officer and a gentleman, an absolutely amazing human being, who has encouraged me from the very moment I decided to set out on this journey. But thanks to him. And then, of course, from all the fans of these songs. I never say they're my fans because, frankly, I don't even know where my voice comes from. We'll get to that soon. But the fans of these songs, of this channel, people who have made actual playlists on their channel of my songs, of my covers. People like Sharon. I think she's from Canada, from America. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But a wonderful, a great, very talented artist. And she has a lovely little pet dog called Dolly Sausage. And she plays these songs. And I think Dolly is perhaps the first Will Rogers pet fan. So a big hug and a kiss from me to Sharon and Dolly. Thank you for everything you're doing, and I hope you continue to support the channel. Next phase is we're going to the questions. So, question. I've just taken 3, if you wouldn't mind. I didn't want this to be too long. We've got other things to do. So, first, Heather from London. When did you first feel you loved singing? Well, I think I probably loved singing when I was in my mom's womb. But I actually got the vibes when Engelbert Humperdinck put out Please Release Me. This was in the 60s, early 60s, I think, if I'm not wrong. But at that time, the Beatles were number 1. And his Release Me, replaced the Beatles as number 1 all around the world. And I was so struck by this song that I would pick my mom's cigarette packet and use it as a microphone and start screaming out the lyrics, and especially towards the end. I could never hit those notes. And that's when I think I knew I loved singing. And since then, I have performed all around the world, only in bathrooms, of course, using the shower or a hairbrush, in those times when I had hair. After the shower, trying to belt out those songs in the shower using the hairbrush and wearing very little. So that's how it is, And years have passed, and I couldn't hit those notes. But it's only in the last couple of years when I started devoting more and more of my life to this mission of compassion to help others. Then I said in my prayers that, I really wish, and this is what really happened. I'd like to share this with you. It's a true story, and I find this nothing short of miraculous. Because about a few months back, this is just before I started this channel, I was all alone in the shower, and that's where I prayed. And I said to God, I've got everything that I've ever wanted. So if there's anything else that you want me to do while I'm still on this planet, just tell me. Now, if you want me to suggest something, but I really like singing, but we both know I'm not good at it. But if you somehow make me good at it, I will use it to direct love from all around the world to people who really need it most. And you know how you say these things and you carry on with what you're doing. So it was in the same moment that I said it, and I continued my shower. I forgot that I had said this prayer, and then you know how it is when you're having a shower. I started humming the song, Please Release Me. And towards the end, and I actually sailed through those high notes not just sailed through them, I sailed way over them. And it's only when I finished the song that I realized what happened. And it's true, when God speaks to you, your heart breaks. And I'm there once again, tears in my eyes, crying in the shower. I say that once again because in my formative years, God knows how many tears I've shed in showers. So tragic was my earlier life. But coming back to this, so I just went inside my heart, so to speak, and I knelt down and I said, thank you. And I renewed that vow that if anything ever happened, if I ever received any money, I would pass it on, all of it, to those who can't afford treatment, who are in hospital, who have got no one to look after them. This is my last wish. And all of you are helping to make that come true. So I think that answers the question. Yeah, a little more than answers the question. The second one is Dwight from Brazil. Why the old songs? Look, my personal life, Dwight, was filled with tragedy, sadness, depression. And it's amazing, in those days, we never knew what PTSD is. But I've suffered those nightmares until very recently. I lost my dad when I was very young. Somehow I was estranged from my mom. I was the only son. We were dead poor, honestly. We never knew where our next meal was coming from. And then after that, I was, I had about 4 or 5 years of subservience where I don't want to get too much into it, but all I would say is that it was 4 or 5 years of constant living in fear of authority, uh, regular put downs, uh, basically emotionally raped. If if you know if what I'm trying to say. And they were days that I was cared for in terms of I was given an education and I was given 2 square meals a day. But no, I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. But anyway, the good side of it is, I learned a lot about human nature, which I then later moved on and used it into my professional life as a media guy, and it served me well. But I didn't realize how badly it had emotionally scarred me. But eventually I managed to get out of it. But what I'm trying to say is that you know the world may have moved on, but till today, it's naive of us to believe that, oh, well, it's all hunky dory now. But there are people today where I once was, and these kind of songs, the lyrics are so touching, so soul moving, so inspiring, so melodious, which I'm sorry to say I don't really find much of in today's music. So that's why I like to do the old songs, hoping that I'd be able to breathe new life into them. And these songs will be the same kind of resource to people who are suffering as I once was. So that's why I love doing these old songs. And the lyrics are absolutely mesmerizing. I'm sure you know that. But thank you for writing in. I really appreciate the question. Now, Casper's from New York. What's the future for Will Rogers? Well, frankly, I don't know. But if I were to dream, I say I don't know because honestly, I don't know how I even got to this point. In fact, I still don't know. When the backing track comes on and I approach the microphone and I open my mouth, I really don't know who's singing. So that's why I never take credit for everything I've done. I pass it on to the original songwriters and the original artist and the people who have produced the backing track, and it's everybody else, and of course God Almighty, except me. I feel I'm just like a channel, like a little hollow pipe through which everything is flowing. So, what will the future be? Well, I've already got a 3 or 4 invitations to perform online uh, in terms of huge international concerts, and they're reaching out to new artists. I don't really think my time has come for that, but you never know. Well, that's what's happening. Uh, I'm going to have a go at writing my own songs. I don't know how good or bad they're going to be, but once again, you never know unless you try. And then there's going to be a small little section where I'm going to publish, short stories with morals. These are stories I come into contact as I'm on this meditation journey, which has really helped me to cope with my PTSD as well. So I do a lot of meditation, especially the Vipassana meditation, and I'm really looking forward to that section where you will all get to know a little more about my life, about my personality, and about the journey that I'm on. So I hope you like those. They'll be coming on by early February, and otherwise, I'm not going to be doing duets, and I'm not going to do. What do you have the reaction videos and all that? I don't think those are my style. But for now, all I'll say is that I'm open to many things, but most important, I'm really, really happy that all of you are taking time. I know you've got an ocean of talent out there. Uh, you don't really have to listen to me, but you still do, and you support this channel, and I couldn't thank you. So to say thank you now, I'm going to wind up now by singing you a little song. That's actually quite a popular one, but there's not going to be any gadgets along, just the microphone and a backing track. And I hope you like this. And before I start that, I'd like to wind up by saying thank you for listening. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And words fail me to explain how grateful I am to you. Thank you.
Take the ribbon from your hair, shake it loose and let it fall. Lay it soft against my skin, like the shadows on the wall. Come on, lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. I don't care what's right or wrong, and I won't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow. Lord, tonight I need a friend. Yesterday's dead and gone, and tomorrow's out of sight. It's so sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. It's so sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. I don't want to be alone. Help me make it through the night.